If you're watching this video, you need to be finished or nearly finished with your revision work. In this video, I want to highlight some of the common errors that I'm noticing in your narrative writing. So, common error number 1, the sentence fragment. Remember that a sentence, a complete sentence, must have a subject, it must have a verb, and it must be a complete thought. So let's look at some sentence fragments and figure out what's wrong with them. Looking at the snow-covered mountains. So who is looking at the snow-covered mountains? We have a verb, looking, but we don't have a subject. This is missing a subject. A pile of brightly covered glass. So my question is, what is the pile of brightly covered glass doing? Right? I have a subject, but I'm missing a verb. After entering the bustling market, what? This is not a complete thought. Because of the word after, something needs to come after market. So let's fix it. How do I edit sentence fragments? How do I fix them? Easy, quick questions you can ask yourself. When I notice a sentence fragment, what is it missing? Or what is making it incomplete? And then I'm just going to add that. So let's start with this first one. It's missing a subject. So I've already highlighted that. I know that it's missing a subject. So let's add a subject. So who is looking at the snow-covered mountains? Let's say he. He was looking at the snow-covered mountains. I added a subject. I added a subject. A pile of brightly covered glass. So this is missing a verb. So what is the pile of brightly colored glass doing? A pile of brightly covered glass covered the table. Okay? Covered is going to be my verb. I've added a verb. After entering the bustling market, what? Right? This is not a complete thought. I need something to come after market. So I'm going to put a comma here. After entering the bustling market, I looked for my friend. Or I could even say I searched. That might be even more clear. I searched for my friend. Okay, so I want for you to read your travel narrative for sentence fragments. Look for those sentences that are missing a subject, missing a verb, or are not a complete thought. Common error number 2, the run-on sentence. Remember that run-on sentences are like a train wreck. It's like we took out this joining piece between the two trains and we just shoved them together. So let's look at a couple train wrecks here. I looked at the snow-covered mountains. It was beautiful. Okay, so here are two trains, right? I looked at the snow-covered mountains is one sentence, and it was beautiful is the second. Okay, so this is a train wreck. This is a run-on sentence. So how do I fix it? I can fix it, remember, in two ways. I can break it into two sentences. So what I could do here is I could actually add a paragraph here, add a period here, and capitalize it. I looked at the snow-covered mountains. It was beautiful. I could also add a coordinating conjunction. Remember, our coordinating conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. So I could put a comma, and I could say, and it was beautiful. I looked at the snow-covered mountains, and it was beautiful. That's like having this little joining piece here. I think it sounds best with the capital and the one period, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so there's my editing to that run-on sentence. Let's try another. A pile of brightly colored glass covered the table. I picked up a beautiful yellow piece. So here's another train wreck. Just because I've added a comma does not mean that it is not a run-on sentence. These are two different trains that I have shoved together. I've just added a comma. So I have two options. I could break it into two sentences, or I can add a coordinating conjunction like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. A pile of brightly colored glass covered the table. I'm going to add a period. I picked up a beautiful yellow piece. I picked up a beautiful yellow piece. Okay, let's look at the third. After entering the bustling market, I began to look around for Adila. Adila is my friend. So here's my first train. After entering the bustling market, I began to look around for Adela. And here's my second train. She was standing by a table of dried flowers. So, how do I fix it? Here's my train wreck. I need to add something here or change something. So I can either break it into two sentences or I can add a coordinating conjunction. I'm going to add a coordinating conjunction here. So I'm going to say and. After entering the bustling market, I began looking around for Adela. And maybe I could say, and found her. Her standing by a table of dried flowers. I want for you to read your travel entries for run-on sentences. Make sure that you don't have any two trains or any two sentences that are just shoved together, even if they're shoved together with a comma. They need to either be their own sentences or they need to be connected by a coordinating conjunction like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Common error number 3, punctuating dialogue. So remember the rules for punctuating dialogue. Rule number 1, if it is said or thought, it needs quotation marks. Most of you are doing a really good job with this. Rule number 2, punctuation goes inside the quotation marks. Okay, so this is one of the errors that I'm seeing a lot. Looking for colored glass. So this question mark here needs to go inside the quotation marks. Okay, so I'm going to throw it in there, inside the quotation marks. I have another problem down here with this one. What would you trade for this piece? Okay, I'm going to stick my punctuation inside the quotation marks. Rule number 3, there needs to be a comma inside the quotation marks before you say he said or she muttered. So here's our example, quotation marks, comma inside. I'm going to circle that so we see it. The comma goes inside the quotation marks and then she muttered. So make sure that you have a comma inside the quotation marks if you're saying how the character said it. So let's look at an example. The glass is beautiful, I said. So I need to add a comma here. And then lastly, rule number 4, if there's a new speaker, you need a new paragraph. Looking for brightly colored glass. The glass is beautiful, I said. Okay, so that was the person who was selling the glass who's speaking, and now the narrator's speaking. So I'm going to add a new paragraph. The glass is beautiful, I said. I picked up a bright blue piece. Okay, so now the trader is talking again. What would you trade for this piece? Oops, sorry, it's not. It's the narrator again. So I'm going to leave that in the same paragraph. Okay, so your common errors. You're going to edit for punctuating dialogue. You're going to edit for run-on sentences. And you're going to edit for sentence fragments. I should not see sentence fragments, run-on sentences, or any punctuation errors with dialogue in any of your travel entries. Have fun!